Right, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this evening's webinar with myself, John. Tonight we will be talking about some important topics that are often overlooked and not felt that are not so important, but should be discussed and are important in the long run. And that is securing your created content and making your workflow faster by organizing your files. So tonight we will talk about hard drives and the different kind of hard drives that are available to you, as well as we'll take a look at the differences between an SSD and a normal hard drive, and we will take a look at cloud storage as well and what the benefits are of cloud storage, as well as we will go about organizing our samples, different ways of how to organize the samples on a Macintosh, and then to access your files a lot faster. And we will also talk about software that can help you, such as Loopcloud by Loopmasters. And it's not just a solution for samples that you can just load your samples into, but there's a whole lot more that you can do with the software, and we'll discover that together. So I hope you're going to enjoy tonight's webinar. Let's take a look. Right, so let's talk about backing up our work. I think it's rather essential if you're going to work in any kind of creative field and you're going to be working with music, video, photography, anything along those lines. You're going to need to be able to back up your sessions and your work so that you don't lose any of the client's work or any of the hard work that you put into helping a client get their product. As you know, it's a very time-consuming job, and it can also end up landing you in a court case and being sued if you lose the material of a band's session or something like that. So let's just avoid all of that altogether and just do the simple thing of backing up every night or backing up every day and even once in a while. So speaking of backing up once in a while, I should point out that there are two different types of methods when it comes to backing up. One is simply backing up, and that's what we do when we are taking our production data on a regular basis and copying this to a storing it locally to quickly offload the files, to restore the files if needed. So basically backing it up to a hard drive that you use every day. Essentially, that's just called backing up. And then archival backup would be where you take something, you put it onto a hard drive, and you take that to a, say, bank vault, and you lock it up in the bank vault. And every now and again you go and you take the hard drive from the bank vault and you go and do another backup. Maybe you do this on a monthly basis or a yearly basis. But that we then refer to as an archival backup because it's not a day-to-day basis. But I think it's rather important to do that because having, well, one, you need to have your content on more than one storage device because it's a very safe and fail-safe method of doing things. If you have a fire that breaks out in your studio, or you have a flooding, I've just heard of a flood that happened that a whole lot of people's houses all went up, and if that had to happen to you and your computer went and got wet, you would then at least have a backup version somewhere else at a different location. So it's important to also have an archival backup situation as well as the normal backup, day-to-day backup on your hard drive. I just want to go over the difference between hard drives and SSDs, and well, the main differences between hard drives and SSDs, what they are good for in terms of your libraries, your music production libraries. So where are you going to store all of your data, what the best solution to go for is. So this is a normal hard drive. It's rather large, as you can see, it has more storage capacity, so it can actually hold a lot more software, it can hold a lot more samples. But the problem with a device such as this is that it is a lot slower than more modern day hard drives such as SSDs, right? It stores the data differently, so it basically has a running disk inside it, which means it has moving parts. The running disk then records all the data. It's a magnetic disk that records the data in a very sensible fashion. And the problem though is that if this has to fall, it's basically gone. It's tickets. It's gonna break. So you will lose that data. Some of it can be recovered, but in a lot of cases not. So it's best not to drop one of these. And so therefore transporting your sample library from place to place with a big heavy hard drive that can potentially break if you drop it is maybe not the best idea. However, it does have some benefits to it, and that is it is bang for your buck. So you are getting more storage capacity for the price you pay. To give you an idea, I think I paid pretty much the same price for this SSD as I did for this hard drive at the time, and this is a 250 gigabyte SSD and a 4 terabyte hard drive, so we can clearly tell who's winning on the storage capacity side of things. However, when it comes to running the race, the SSD is going to win. And by the way, it's nice that you can actually not worry about banging this thing around too much, although I wouldn't suggest doing it, but it can survive a knock here and there. When it comes to running the race, the SSD is clearly the winner because it is much faster. It can actually have speeds of up to 10 times faster than a normal hard drive, but obviously you have to weigh the fact that it's going to cost more for one of these devices. Even though the prices are coming down now, they are still more expensive than this. So SSD, hard drive, faster, slower, consumes more power, more efficient, more rugged, more likely to last longer. So, you know, it has its benefits, but more expensive. So that's basically SSDs and hard drives in a nutshell. And what you choose to do in terms of storage is up to you. But these aren't the only solutions when it comes to storage. So the cloud is essentially a term given to what is a number of computers connected up to provide an online space in which we can then store data and download data from. It is normally, well, it is always secured by a login and password, and any computing device can connect to the cloud, so you can access it from your phone or a laptop or a computer or a Mac. Anything that will then connect to the internet can basically connect to a cloud service, and you then just need to, as I mentioned, have your login details, your email and password. So it's very important that you have a secure password, because anybody can basically access your content which is stored on the internet if you don't. So make sure that you use uppercase letters, lowercase, numbers and special characters when creating a password for cloud-based storage. And then what these different services provide for us, well, OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive has 5 gigs of storage, Google has 15 gigs, iCloud has 5 gigs, and Dropbox has 2 gigs available. So you would then probably need to upgrade to a premium account with them if you're going to use them to store large files and a lot of content. But if you're just storing documents and maybe a couple of photographs and a few WAV or MP3 files, then it's fine to just go with one of the free options. But like I say, if you're going to be storing multiple sessions, it's probably a better idea to go with a premium account. So the other thing with cloud storage is that you now have the ability to access your content off-site, which means that you don't need to have to be around the hard drive that has the content on it. You can then access it from any where you take your laptop or your computer, or you go and use another computer in another studio. You can then access the content from the cloud storage and download it onto that computer. Okay guys, so I'm just going to talk about how you can go about organizing your samples quickly, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it because I find that nowadays organizing your sample library is actually just really a waste of time when there are applications that are now suited for organizing samples for you, putting samples into categories and doing all the work for you, making sure that you can get on with your music production and stop thinking about the organization side of things. So let me just show you quickly some ways of keeping organized if you do not prefer to use applications like this. Okay, so here we've got some sample packs that I've got, and basically they're all over the show at the moment. They're just sorted by their names. But what you will notice is that I've gone and I've taken some of my favorite sample packs and I've gone and I've added a tag. Now in Macintosh you have this amazing ability to tag things and find them quickly. So if I want to just find something Pop Essentials, I can click on red. It's going to take me to everything that I've tagged on the computer, and so I can quickly find, okay, here's my Pop Essentials. It's my favorite sample to use when I'm I don't know, making a pop song or something like that. Then I can simply go and click on the red tag and do that. Something else I've done is I've added a favorites folder. So if I wanted to, I could quickly load anything that I use very often that I want to use in songs. Maybe it's my signature sound that I've developed, maybe it's something that I've gone and recorded myself and made samples myself and put them into packs, and then I will simply add them to this folder, my favorites folder, and I can also then add a color tag as well. So if I want to find that favorites folder, all I have to do is click on green and it will take me to the favorites folder, and I can then get whatever samples I currently am using very often. Now there are other ways of organizing your samples where you maybe want to go and organize them by, I don't know, FX, and you want to go and create one that says drum loops. Maybe you've got MIDI that you download. So if you want to go and individually type out the different kinds of samples, but this is a painstaking process, and really only do that if you are really picky about how you want your sample set up. But that's not who I am, and I'm not going to spend my time organizing samples in such a manner. It may be beneficial if you are in working for a specific studio where they want you to do that sort of thing, or whether it's going to help you in that situation. Then by all means go ahead and do that. There are templates that people have made where they've simply gone and created all the folders for you, and you can find those on a number of YouTube sites where you can simply download their template. It's got all the folders in there, and you just go and add all of your samples to those folders. You don't have to create all the folders yourself. But let's get on to the next thing, which is the Loopcloud, which is going to save you all this time, and you don't have to do all of this hard work. It's absolutely free, and what's more is it gives you free samples every week. So that's pretty cool. It gives you 150 gigs worth of samples, plus you get a gigabyte worth of samples when signing up. So how do you claim those free samples? You simply go in the application, you go to New Inspiration from Loopmasters, and then you go and you find a sample that you like, and you go claim free content, and then it should change to a folder, and then inside the folder it will have your samples that you have now got for free. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's have a listen to some of them. Okay, some drums. That's pretty cool. I can use that somewhere, I'm sure. Now, the great function of Loopcloud is its search library. So you if you are looking for a sample of say you're looking for guitars, you can type in here guitar and enter, and you can find all the guitars here. Now think about how much time you save by doing that, as opposed to searching for guitars in the Finder, where maybe something isn't getting picked up properly, or you are constantly trying to find it in your folders, and you know it's in one of the folders, and you've got to go through all of those folders when the search function's not actually working for you. This is simple. It took me 2 seconds to find all the guitars. Some of them are available from downloads that I've made from purchases that I've made from Loopmasters, and some of them are available from what I've thrown in. And you can simply see what is on your hard drive by looking at the symbol here. It says state, and it will say this is on your hard drive with these 3 round disks. For everything else, this means it's in the cloud, so I can access this wherever I am. If I want to go to a friend's house or a friend's studio and open up my Loopcloud to get the samples, I can start producing music there. So long as I have internet access, I can use cloud-based Loopcloud to get the samples. So talking about their store, let's just have a look here. So we've got this button here that says store, and if I click on here, boom, this is all of their libraries that you can come in and purchase. You just buy some credits and then you can purchase it. So looking at this here, it will say it is 847p. That is basically I like to think of it as points, because it's not actual rands. So do not worry about the prices. Of course, nothing's ever cheap in the world of music, but it is definitely something that you can come check out, and something that is really worth spending your money on. Okay, so that is now the store section. Let's check out how we can go about searching for our instrumentation. So if I go back to my library, I can go and search via instrument. So I can go, okay, I'm looking for a bass instrument. Boom, all the basses are here. Okay, what if I want to look for a type of genre? So reggae, type there and all the reggae instruments come up. And then maybe I want to search for a particular synthesizer. So I'm looking for a certain synth preset. I can simply click on that and it will take me to, if there are any, it will take me to them. So maybe if I untick one of those, there we go. If I untick reggae, now I've got the tropical house synth patches, that all the bass synth patches that go with the tropical house music. So that's pretty cool. Then you can clear that. You can also search their store, and then there are additional features like searching by key or by BPM. So if I'm searching for something that's in a major key, that is maybe 113 BPM to 1000, so it's searching 113 to 1000. Then the only one that comes up is this one, because it's 174 BPM. So obviously I can go and customize my search. Maybe if I search mine, I'll find a lot more. Thought so. Yes. Okay. Then you can go and simply favorite them. If you like them, you can tick on the heart and it will favorite them, and it will save them to make it even easier for you to find them. And then also you can edit tags over here. Now tags are really cool because obviously you want to know what kind of genre, or if you want to find out if it's a loop, or if it's a one shot, or you know, what kind of instrument it is. You can simply come here and you can see the tags, you can edit the tags, you can create tags as well. So there's a lot you can do to make the program work to you. You can make it cater for you. See your history, and you can actually see what you've searched for in the past. So if you forget the name of a sample that you really liked, simply go and search for it there. Then again, you can go and audition samples. Great. So I've got a sample here now, and maybe I'm not happy with the sample. Maybe I want to change it a bit, so I can change the BPM here, make it go a little bit faster. Then it shortens it there, you can see. You can also cut it up, so cut sample up into different parts. This would be great for editing vocals, just chopping something up and making those tropical pop house vocals, something that you would do to maybe Justin Bieber's voice. And then you can go and change up certain aspects of it. So if you want to make it over 4 bars long, or if you want to go and change the type of grid to a different grid mode and cut it up even finer than that, or if you want to take a certain part of it and reverse it, you can simply click there, reverse that part. You can mute a part, so maybe you want to mute this section here, and then your sample will only start playing much later for some reason. If you wanted to do that, you could. You can also use the slip tool, so you can move your sample around and find exactly where you want to edit. Also great for working on those dubstep vocals, tropical house vocals, pop vocals, cool things that you can do right in this program. You don't even need to put it in the DAW, you can edit it here. But if you want to put it in the DAW, then you can simply come and connect it to the plugin that works with your DAW. So if I open up mine, I'm going to just go and add the plugin, which by the way is installed as soon as you install Loopcloud. It is there. Now I can go and audition something. Alright, that sounds pretty cool. That's what I've just done. Now you can see it's in Pro Tools, and I can actually play around. So if I want to change the key to this G here, or this A here, well, it's pretty deep, and so you can go and play around and you know, fiddle and see what you can do with the sample, edit the sample, make it your own sample, and then it's unique to you. So a lot of stuff you can do even before it goes to your DAW and you start putting it into songs. So here, this is a brief overview of Loopcloud, and it's come a long way since version 1.0. I think it's pretty cool, and I just thought I'd share it with you since it's free. So if you want free samples, you like working with samples, check out Loopcloud and see how it can help you stay organized with your sample libraries from now on. Right, so there you have it. That was this evening's webinar. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you've learned a lot from this and you've taken something from the Loopcloud experience, and it's opened up a whole new world for you. Maybe you're going to be able to use that and speed up your workflow. as well as now you know the difference between hard drives and SSDs, as well as the benefits of cloud storage. And you know, maybe you've decided upon which way you're going to take your backing up solution, and go for it. Really, it can help you with your workflow and your content creation. So I hope this webinar has helped you out.